hey, there's lots of different things, and you've literally written the book on how to present well at a job interview, how to put your best foot forward in shiny shoes, and all that type of stuff. But what is the one thing? What's at the top of the list that you must do for a job interview, Tom?
I think where people let themselves down is this one question. But someone will say, "Hey, look, Andrew, thank you. Now it's your time. Oh, well, what questions do you have?" And then the person just looks and goes, "I don't have any." It's just such a letdown
Yeah.
for the employer. It's your time to shine.
Yep.
It's your time to just really show your knowledge of the business, your passion for the industry, your desire to progress further in the company and the organisation, the industry, whatever it is, And we just let it go by going, "No, I don't have any." It just shows that you're just not interested.
Some people might, in their nervousness, think, oh gosh, I don't want to be a bother. I'm going to be compliant. I'm going to be the sort of person that doesn't ask questions. I'm just going to be the nice guy that does a good job and sits in the corner and everything. It's almost in this case, though, that any answer is better than that answer.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That
Now,
even
one thing
if
I
you
will
lead,
say.
even if you lead with, so how much money are you going to pay me? That's better than I don't have an opinion on this job at all. I'm not even the least bit curious, right?
Well, this is the thing. Imagine you're dating someone to be your future wife or husband. You're going to ask a whole lot of questions because you're going to spend the rest of your life with them. You go into an employer, you're probably going to, good case scenario, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years with them.
Yep.
Why would you not ask about them? And from an employer's perspective, it's just kind of weird when someone doesn't have some good questions. And it also just shrieks that, "Just give me money." That's what it says at the end of the day. "I'm not interested in any learning and development opportunities. I'm not really interested about your business. Show me the money."
Yeah.
Which, we all realise that it's about the money at the end of the day in many respects, most people.
Yep.
But there's got to be other things as well.
In your experience, is this one of the things, because you're going into the interview with uncertainty. You don't know exactly what they're going to ask you. But is this pretty bankable?
Yeah,
you don't know all the questions, but they're
absolutely.
definitely going to ask you for your questions. This is the one thing that you can prepare in advance because you know they're going to ask that question. It's not going to be a waste of time, right?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. You don't know what question's going to be asked. Tell me about yourself. Tell me about a time you blah blah blah. You can only take your best guess. This will definitely come up for any rational organisation. To be honest, if they didn't ask you, "Do you have any questions?" I'd leave, I'd run. So there's the other thing to think about there. But in that context, this is where you can really think about the organisation. So it's a large, organisation. You can say things like, what are the long-term sort of, medium, long-term opportunities for learning and development? I'm interested in doing maybe some papers towards so-and-so. Is that something that, over the medium, long term, this organisation could support? In terms of, social, what kind of social organisations, just try and, sow into that social side as well.
Yep.
But a really great question you can always ask, and more short term if it's a sort of more general role, or more strategic, longer if it's a strategic role. If I was successful in this position, Andrew, what would you expect me to learn and achieve in the first 3 months?
Okay.
And then if it's a long-term, senior level role in the first 6 months, first 12 months sort of deal. What you're doing is you're setting the scene for you to just get stuck in,
Yep.
to turn up, do what they want you to do, learn what needs to be done, and just make yourself a model employee.
Is there a balance between, okay, if you're going to the interview, you probably should have done some research about the company that you've applied to work for. Is there a balance, or is there a potential trap in the questions that you ask demonstrating that you know nothing about the company that you've applied for a job for? That you could have read the answer to this question on the front page of their website. That you don't want to say, "Hey, look, no, I've thoroughly researched your company. I know it better than you do." You don't want to come across as that guy. But also at the same time, this is a case where not some questions are stupid questions. If you should know the answer to the question, then keep your mouth shut, right?
So what you do is obviously do your preparation beforehand. The day before, you spend a good 45 minutes, an hour on the internet, looking up news stories, looking up their website, reminding yourself what products or services they sell, looking at interesting, news articles. Now that allows you to dig deeper, not just turn up to, Jimbo's plastics manufacturer and go, what do you do? You rock up and you go, I see in the news that you've, just I saw in a news story in the Herald yesterday, or that you're looking to move production towards China. That sounds interesting. What's the rationale there, may I ask? Obviously if it's a senior level role. Another one, I consulted to an insurance company a number of years ago, and they just won Reader's Digest Most Trusted Brand. And I said, and so one of the questions person asked me was, I see that you've just recently won Most Trusted Brand. What was sort of some of the key things you felt that led to that? And I'm like, basically, welcome aboard. Interview stop. Grab your stuff. Here's the desk. Because when we do the research, it allows us to come back with good questions, not just what do you do, where are you based, are you small, medium, large? If it's a small to medium sized business and they've got a really strong family focus, you may just twist the question. Focus your question around that. I see that there's a strong family focus, it seems, on the website. Would you mind telling me a little bit more about that? And then again, you can feed off the back of that with your response.
Hey, thanks very much for joining us in the Rhema studio. Thanks very much for watching the interview. It's kind of nice to have an audience, actually. And if you did like what you watched, then do give us a like, do give us the thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more interviews like that one, or perhaps even better, subscribe and those interviews will come straight to you. Don't forget to turn on your notifications, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.